What's up, YouTube? A lot of you guys have been asking me to notate the solos that I do over the songs here on the woodshed videos, and honestly it's a very tedious process, but what I can do in the meantime is show you how to build your own solos. So let's get to it. The first thing you're going to want to do is figure out what key the song is in, because that's going to determine what scale you're going to play. Let's take a progression like play blues scale over that. Or you can play natural minor, which has two other notes as the 2 and the 6, maybe a little bit more interesting. Right? Let's take a major progression. So let's say like so you're going to play, if it's a major progression, chord progression, you're going to play the major scale over that. To some people that's going to be obvious, to other people they're going to be like, oh wow, that makes sense. The other thing you want to do if you're a beginner or intermediate, a lot of times with guitarists starting out, they'll be locked into one position, especially if you're trying to play blues scale over everything. You know, you're in A minor and you're pretty much locked in here. And that's going to make your solos less interesting. What you should do is learn A minor all over the fretboard. I can show you in 3 positions in this video, so you can start here. You can start here on A string. And then you can start here, which is an octave above the first one. And if you can alternate between those, you'll have more flexibility and your solo will generally be more interesting. So you go to first position. So the idea is you want to learn the scale all up and down the fretboard because it'll give you more flexibility and interest in your solo. So learn the key, same thing with the major version. What you want to do is learn it in multiple places, learn it up and down the fretboard. Get yourself like a backing track, or just practice over the song that you're interested in learning how to solo over. Have it on repeat and just run the scale and figure out little melodic ideas. The scale solo is basically coming up, improvising your own melody over the chord changes. For any type of music, jazz or any type of music, that's basically what it is. So once you determine what scale is appropriate for the chord progression, just loop it and just run ideas over it and kind of get your own voice, and in that way you'll start to create your own individual solos that, you know, reflect your own musical taste, your own melodic tastes. And then of course you can get into things like arpeggiating the scales, like things like that can add interest, you know what I mean? All kinds of shapes, you know, melodic structures based on that key. Within that key, because there's only going to be 8 notes generally within the scale, so you can do all kinds of shapes and permutations of the scale and add interest, and people hear that. Even if they're not musicians, people hear, like, they can hear that. It, you know, it gets into all kinds of theory, but you know, these relationships between frequencies are literally the relationships that, you know, the universe is made out of. So even if people are not musicians, they hear that. They hear the relevance and value in phrases like that, because you're literally building a structure of frequencies, and people appreciate that. So figure out what key it's in, figure out what scale corresponds to that that key and then practice over it and figure out melodic ideas, structural ideas. It's really endless, but that's going to be your approach, especially as a beginner. That's going to be your approach to figuring out how to solo over songs. If you want more stuff like this where I'm just kind of giving you a lesson, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and definitely hit like. It helps me out. Peace.